Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with the Emotional Exchanges. It's my Friday show that seeks to deliver the answer to the questions that it may be relationship or romance-minded. So, I normally throw an affirmation into the brew, but I'm trying to do my down and dirty, just kind of get through it. So we're going to go through the signs, the elemental signs of the zodiac. So the first reading is for the air signs, and air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And the first question is, what is the emotional essence, vibration, energy, etc., that is coming to you? And reversed Two of Wands. So the energy is a little bit chaotic in terms of relationships, romance, that kind of thing. It could be that maybe you feel like you're just too busy, or you're encumbered with other relationships and situations that haven't totally given you a breather. It may be that there are things to sort out there. Maybe you're transitioning away from a troublesome kind of relationship or scenario to something that maybe you might hope would not be. Why is that important? And it's the Three of Swords. It's upright. And the Three of Swords says you are breaking up, or a breakup has happened, and there's sorrow, there's a sense of separation, a feeling that, people who maybe you thought were connected are not really connected. Maybe that's you and that person, or it could be a situation you're aware of, but it sort of lays the idea of this energy of trying to sort out a little bit of the busyness and chaos that could be in the aftermath of a broken relationship. So maybe that's why it's important, is because you really want to get over this, So where does it lead to? Where does it lead to? And it's the Emperor, but the Emperor is reversed. And so there's no easy solution when we're trying to pick up after a relationship. We may feel that things are very much out of sorts, and a lot of this has to do with all of the other relationships that went into the mix. Maybe the person you were with had siblings or cousins or uncles, aunts, grandparents, parents, who now that relationship changes too a little bit, especially if it was intertwined with, your side, different relationships. So it could be that this is going to be a general kind of looking for what the new reality is going to be. And it may be that you don't really have the control or the vantage point that you felt you had in your relationships. And so my guess is you're going to have to kind of go slow and see what you can do to realign and reaffirm, the ones that are important to you. So that's it for the air signs. Unfortunately, we're going to move on to the fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We're going to ask pretty much the same three questions and try to determine what they're going to be doing for this week ahead. That's the week of the 27th to November 3rd. So just in time for the Halloween season. So fire signs, what is the energy, spirit, thing, essence, whatever that's coming to you in terms of emotions, relationship, or otherwise? It's the reversed Four of Discs. And maybe you have arrived at a time where you feel like in order to get a little, you have to give a little. And this certainly would apply in terms of relationships that maybe have a degree of stability about them, maybe a degree of something to do with their material setup. The Four of Coins could also pertain to security of any sort within a relationship or within, the confines of the overall relationship. So this could be saying that what's coming towards you is a feeling like you have to kind of be open to sharing more, I guess, or that you're going to feel like there's somebody really you want to help them in some ways. Why is this important? And it's the Knight of Discs, or the Prince of Discs, but it's the Knight of Coins or Pentacles. And the idea here is it's important because you realize this can kind of stabilize yourself in a relationship. Maybe you feel like you are going to move forward with somebody who has a better pace with you, who's willing to plan more cautiously for their success, whether it's within the relationship or what the relationship may be doing outwardly. I mean, this is the Four of Coins over here. So there's this feeling like really maybe an opportunity that you'll have to put a little bit of yourself or your resources into. And of course, that could be emotions, but maybe it means something else too. So where does it ultimately lead to? And it's another knight or prince. It's the Knight or Prince of Swords. And as a Knight of Swords, this is about bravery. This is about really feeling like one has to kind of pick up the mantles or the reins of a relationship or a situation and take control of it. So if this is anywhere about the idea of maybe, like I said, certifying or validating or aligning a relationship, you can expect that maybe this energy is going to take place here. And, you almost wonder if it's maybe from the person that you fire signs are working with in this relationship, that maybe they're the ones, because it's kind of a contrast in study too. You're maybe sort of, or this energy is more the reliable, sure form of it. This energy is sort of like get her done. So one way or the other, I guess it's going to happen. Maybe you're moving into a new relationship and there may be a period of adjusting to each other, understanding each other. Good luck, fire signs. So now we'll move on to the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This one is for you. I'm one of you myself. But we're going to find out the same three things. Basically, what's coming towards you, emotionally speaking, or affairs of the heart, romance, relationships. Why is it important? And where will it lead to? What's coming towards you? It's the Page of Cups. Water signs, this is good. It's called the Princess here, but it's the same card, the Page of Cups. This may be the beginning of a new situation. I don't necessarily believe it could be a love situation, but it could just be something that's very fond and evokes, the beginning of maybe a friendship that could become more. It may depend on other circumstances. I think it's a feeling of like, you can move towards your own drummer in a way. Water signs tend to be emotional, but a lot of times they have to wear different masks in order to move around in the world, to not be perceived as weak or overly emotional. So why is this important, water signs? It's the Hermit. Perhaps it is time for you to take your place and not be so much the hermit. Maybe bring some of your energies and empathies out. On the other hand, we could take it at face value and say there is something that draws you towards, your own sense of aloneness. Maybe this is now the time for you to understand that there's a bit of poetry and philosophy tied up with the Page of Cups, and that maybe sometimes, the thing we're beginning is very personal and to us, and And that's where it's leading to, is this really in-depth thing about yourself. Water signs. Where is it leading to? Eight of Swords. You have to be careful. You may want to stay isolated, but you may find that this is just really an image of yourself that you're portraying, that you're not really going to be that, because this is really an illusion in a way. This is maybe how you perceive yourself, but in the context of the cards where this is leading to, you may be leaning on the idea that because you are exploring philosophical or deep core spiritual emotional aspects of love or your relationships, that maybe you want that perception to be there. Maybe you want to be isolated because maybe you don't want to deal with relationships right now. I don't know, water signs. So finally we move on to the earth signs. And earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And once again, we ask those questions. What's coming towards you? Why is it important? And where will it lead to? What's coming towards you? It's the Empress, and the Empress is upright. And the Empress is saying this is a time for you to focus, emotionally speaking, on yourself, what it is you're hoping to cultivate and to bloom in your life. The Empress is kind of like Mother Nature. And, when the Empress says it's time for me to think about relationships and romance and possibilities, you know who to go to. This is about really you taking care of yourself, you listening to yourself, and really going from that. Why is it important, earth signs? And it's the reversed Four of Swords. And, it fits. Maybe you have been asleep. Maybe you have been in a hibernation mode, a recuperation mode. Whatever it is, you now feel you have really moved yourself back into a sense of life that maybe you didn't think you had before. Activity. Maybe you feel like you've moved from a relationship, or maybe you feel like something that kept you from relationships has changed. So where is this leading to? King of Swords, upright. So for the earth signs, there's a sense here of really like maybe you've come out of whatever you were in, whatever spiral or your own deepness you were in, and you realize that in making up for lost time, you are really in charge. You can make the important decisions. And so whether or not you just go ahead with, taking care of yourself, or whether you realize, there's something else you have to do, you can do it. You can decide to do that. All right, so that's what I have for my outlook on the emotional exchanges. Thanks for joining me. I hope I see you next week. Bye-bye.